Classic Audiobooks Library presents The Horla by Guy de Maupassant. This story contains themes of mental distress and suicide. Listener discretion is advised. Section 1. Opening and Early Disquiet. May 8th. I have spent all the morning lying on the grass, in front of my house, under the enormous plane tree which covers and shades and shelters the whole of it. I love this house, and I love the countryside in which it stands. I love to live here, because I am attached to it by deep roots, the profound and delicate roots which bind a man to the soil where his ancestors were born and died. To their traditions, their usages, their food, the local expressions, the peculiar language of the peasants, the smell of the soil, the villages, the atmosphere itself. I love the house in which I grew up. From my windows, I can see the Seine River, flowing along by my garden, just across the road, almost touching the hedge. The road itself leads to Rouen, winding beside the river, sometimes hidden, sometimes flashing open to view, and always dotted with boats passing to and fro. On the left, far down the river, lies Rouen, populous Rouen, with its blue roofs, its innumerable steeples, and its tall Gothic belfry. An immense panorama stretches out before me, extending as far as Bon-Secours, sweeping wide with a winding river, studded with white sails, and sometimes great steamboats from Havre. In short, it is a delightful and peaceful spot. May 12th. What a delicious day! I have spent it stretched out on the grass, in the sun, in front of my house, under the plane tree. I love this kind of life, the full light, the open air, the deep country. Sometimes I feel seized with a fierce desire to run. To run far away, anywhere, down the long white road that flashes across the fields and disappears into the horizon. I feel a craving for the open sky, for a swift walk, for the motion of the body, for a bath of air, for the coolness of the morning, and the sweetness of the evening. And sometimes, it feels as if I hear voices in the air, calling me, whispering unknown and confused words from another world. Who knows? Perhaps I am simply tired, simply nervous, from the heavy sweetness of the spring. May 16th. I am ill, decidedly. And yet. I was so well last month. Now I am feverish, horribly feverish. Or rather, I feel feverish, for I am sure the thermometer would not mark a degree more than usual. It is a nervous attack without reason, a sudden sense of discouragement, a feeling of horror at my own existence. What is happening to me? May 18th. I have just come back from consulting my doctor, because I could no longer get any sleep. He found that I had a fever, that I was nervous, and that my stomach was disordered. He prescribed bromide of potassium, and a course of showers. He told me to travel a little, to get a change of air. But I cannot make up my mind to leave my house. Besides, where would I go? I have no close relations, no family. A journey would only worry me more. May 25th. Decidedly, something strange is happening within me. I am always feeling horribly disturbed. It is as if a danger were threatening me, an impending misfortune, a catastrophe on the verge of happening. It is surely an attack of the nerves, as the doctor says. I must take showers, and go to bed earlier. Section 2. Growing nervousness and first disturbances. June 2nd. No doubt about it. I am feverish. My imagination plays tricks on me. I spend entire days dreaming, instead of living and acting. Someone must have bewitched me. Some invisible being has taken possession of my soul, and of my body. I wander through my house, like a man who has lost his way. I feel that another being, invisible and intangible, is gliding around me, is commanding me, is observing me, and, more terrible still, is insinuating itself into me. June 3rd. I have just come back from a walk by the river. It is a beautiful day, warm and full of sunlight. The earth is delightfully alive and joyful, and I feel sad, as if some misfortune threatened me. I ate no dinner, for appetite has left me. Suddenly, I felt terribly tired, alone, invaded by an unknown being and yet master of my will. I am lost, lost forever. June 4th. I am certainly better today. The whole day long, I was charmed by the warmth of the air, the splendor of the sunshine, and the pleasure of living. It seems to me that the mysterious influence has vanished, or that it never existed. How weak the mind is, how easily it is terrified by a shadow, by a nothing. June 5th. No, it is not gone. Everything which has haunted me, is back. I am still feverish. Last night, I suffered terribly. I could not sleep. At 2 o'clock, I got up to drink some water, and while crossing the hall, I distinctly felt that someone was following me. He was close, so close that I turned around sharply. I was alone. However, I did not return to my room at once. I walked back and forth, slowly, listening, straining my ears to hear something. Surely, something was moving behind me, and around me. June 6th. I am going mad. Last night, everything appeared calm after dinner. I fell asleep very quickly. At about 2 o'clock in the morning, I was suddenly awakened by the violent slamming of my door. My lamp was out. I tried to reach the matches, but could not find them. I was paralyzed with fright, shaken with a terrible desire to hide under the covers and weep, but at the same time, possessed by an irresistible urge to get up and see. I groped my way towards the door, when I stumbled upon a chair. Then suddenly, I felt a presence behind me. I turned around in a mad rush, and I swear, I felt someone running away from me, brushing against me, a cold breath, a faint whisper. June 7th. I am lost. Somebody possesses my soul, and governs all my actions, all my movements, all my thoughts. I am no longer myself, nothing is left of me, but an enslaved will, terrified and submissive. Is it a man? Is it a phantom? Is it some invisible spirit? I do not know. But he is here, always here, watching me, dominating me, terrifying me, making me like himself. Section 3, Terror at Night, First Full Encounter. July 2nd. I have had a terrible night. I shall go away for a few weeks. It is necessary. I must. Last night, a sudden heat roused me from sleep, and I sat up in bed. Then, I lit a candle. The room was empty. Yet, I had the sensation that something was there, something invisible, watching me. I was afraid, so afraid I trembled from head to foot. I got up and walked around the room. I looked behind the curtains. I felt the walls with my hands. I opened the wardrobe. I opened the dressing table. Nothing. Then, I sat down again, overcome, but still afraid, my heart pounding in my chest. Suddenly, I lowered my eyes. My water carafe, on the table, was empty, but just a few moments earlier, it had been full. I had seen it there. Someone had drunk from it. No, not someone. Something. The Horla was there. It had drunk the water, while I watched the room, while I searched in panic. And it was still there. July 3rd. I have left my house. I fled from it last night, like a man pursued. I stayed in ruin at the Hotel Continental. This morning, I returned to make preparations for a journey, but I shall not spend another night under that roof. July 4th. I am still afraid, still pursued. I feel the Horla even now, though I am far from the house. It is inside me now. It no longer waits in corners, or hides behind the curtains. No, it has taken up residence within me. When I close my eyes, I see it. Not with sight, with something deeper. A vision not of the eyes, but of the soul. A shadow, a weight, pressing on me. It is not a man. It is not a ghost. It is a new kind of being, a creature from beyond this world. July 5th. I shall go to mourn Saint Michel. I must distract myself, must see people, real things. The very idea of the Horla makes my skin crawl. I cannot go on like this. July 6th. Mourn Saint Michel. What a marvelous place. It rises out of the sea like a dream, solid, strong, eternal. The monastery stands high on the rocks, bathed in wind and spray. The ocean surrounds it on all sides when the tide rises. For a moment, I was at peace. But as I stood at the top, overlooking the waves, I felt it again. A chill ran down my spine, and I knew the Horla had followed me here. Section 4. Realization and Helplessness. July 10th. I have returned to my home. Everything seemed calm. I slept well for 2 nights. Then, last night, everything began again. At first, I felt that presence, that terrifying nearness I've come to know. Then, the air grew still. Heavy. Thick, as if pressed down by an invisible weight. And I knew, the Horla was near me, was watching me. I tried to resist. I tried to stand, to move, to think clearly, but no. I was frozen, paralyzed. It bent my will. It reached into my very thoughts. And I submitted, without resistance. July 11th. That thing, that creature, that being. The Horla is not a spirit, not a phantom, not a figment of my nerves. It is real. A new creature, unknown to man. I believe it came from distant lands, perhaps from across the sea, from India, or from Africa. It is one of those invisible beings, like air, like fire, like electricity. A creature made of will, and power, and malice. July 12th. I feel like a man condemned. I am no longer alone in myself. Something else, someone else, is here. Sometimes I forget who I am. I speak words I didn't mean to say. I lift my hand, but it is not my own will that lifts it. And sometimes, I wake up in strange places, with no memory of how I got there. July 13th. I found the water carafe empty again this morning. It had been full when I went to sleep. I do not sleepwalk. I know I do not. It, the Horla, drank it. As it did before. But I did not see it. Only, I felt its breath on my cheek, as I lay frozen in bed. July 14th. How do I fight something I cannot see? How can I resist a creature I cannot touch? The Horla is inside my life. Inside my mind. It has no body. It does not need one. It rides my thoughts, uses my strength, speaks through my voice. And I am no longer my own. July 16th. I tried an experiment last night. I locked my door. I sealed my windows. I placed a full carafe of water on the table. Then I went to sleep, trembling, afraid. This morning, the carafe was empty. The door was still locked. The windows were still sealed. But the water was gone. The Horla had come, without entering, and had drunk. Section 5. Final Despair and Decision. July 17th. I know it now. I know the name of the creature that haunts me. It is the Horla. I read its name today, by chance, in an old newspaper article about a ship that had returned from Brazil. All the crew had fallen ill, struck down by madness or fever. One man raved about something he called the Horla, a being that drank light and water and will. The name froze my blood. The Horla. It had crossed the sea. It came with the wind, invisible, silent, and now, it has found me. July 18th. I must destroy it. There is no other choice. Tonight, I shall trap it. I shall catch it in the act, prove that it is real. And then, I shall kill it. If I fail. If I do not survive. Let these pages bear witness. July 19th. It is done. I have seen it, at last. Tonight, I waited. I pretended to sleep. I kept the lamp burning low, and placed the water carafe on the table. Then, I felt it. Not a sound, not a touch. But a pressure. The air thickened. The shadows leaned forward. And then, I saw the carafe tilt. The water began to rise, drop by drop, and disappear, into empty space. My breath caught. My limbs froze. But I moved. I leapt up, I flung the sheet over the spot. I trapped it. I caught the Horla. And then, I set fire to everything. The curtains. The bed. The walls. Flames roared, and I ran. The fire devoured the room. The light, glorious light, drove it back. It screamed. I swear I heard it scream. Now, I sit alone. The house is in ruins. But I am free. I think. I hope. No, no. It is here again. Behind me. I feel it. It breathes when I breathe, watches when I blink, follows when I move. I thought fire could destroy it, but it is air. It is shadow. It is, inside me. There is only one way now. There is no hope, no escape. It must die. And for that, I must die. This concludes the end of the story. Thank you for listening to Classic Audiobooks Library. To hear more free stories like this, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We hope you'll join us again for more timeless stories and original works. Until next time.